Thanks very much, firstly, for having us, Vuyo. We have declared that the Gupta media, ANN7 and the New Age, are no longer welcome in EFF events. And this is because, to us, they are not media. They are the communications department of the Gupta family masquerading as independent journalism. They are what NESPAS used to be under apartheid. And any association with them is a legitimization of the Guptas, a normalization, a normal relationship with them. We can't allow that. And as a result, we are conscious that that particular position will put the workers that work for these institutions, not just in the media houses, but that are owned by the Guptas in general, in the crossfire. We're conscious of that. And the Commander-in-Chief said, these are our brothers and sisters. Some of them are even EFF members.
Really?
But they must, in as far as they come in the name of the Gupta-owned media, they are not welcome in our events.
What did you make of that, Adrian?
The South African National Editors Forum is quite disappointed by that statement today by Mr. Malema. We've always experienced the EFF as a very open and welcoming party to journalists, open for debate, open on documents and reading and debating points of argument. I think to ban any journalist from any gathering is something that we don't support. We think it's wrong. We think it's against the spirit of media freedom and media expression. We think that there's a number of ways that the EFF can take up the issues with the Gupta family and even those media companies without having to ban these journalists from press conferences, rallies, etc. For example, set up meetings with the editor of the New Age, meet the bosses of ANN7, insist on rights of reply in the newspaper, take them to the Ombudsman, even sue them in the High Court.
It's a contested space.
Yes, it is a contested space, and I just think it's really not the way we want to go. It's not the EFF I came to know. You know, the EFF is a robust party that invites debate and it likes challenge of ideas. What we heard today is not that. It's a party that says, listen, because you are linked to a certain media owner, we're not going to allow you into our gatherings, which raises the question, what next? You know, which next media house will be banned from EFF rallies? So we are actually calling, and we will, as SANEF, engage the EFF leadership on this matter to put our views forward and explain why we think it's the wrong move.
Unban ANN7, hashtag.
No, the problem is that his entire argument is based on the premise that he's not engaging. You're supposed to engage us on our beginning premise. We don't think that they're media. We don't think that ANN7 and the New Age are media. We think that they're masquerading. So you must put yourself under apartheid and say what would have been, as at the Editors Forum, your moral obligation in relation to NESPAS, that you knew already under apartheid of the association to an illegitimate government. And so that's the beginning point of departure. We don't think that they are media. Now, the workers who work there, they come to our press conferences not as journalists who are working for themselves. They come as representatives of the media houses of the Gupta family. And they are not banned as individual journalists. They are banned in as far as they come in the name of ANN7 and the New Age.
But I've heard people.
And by the way,
I've heard people saying such things about the SABC. That we are his master's voice. We represent.
But you are not owned by the ANC. The ANC does not have an ownership. In fact, in Parliament, we've put an argument. We're going to be fighting fiercely against some of the amendments to remove Parliament from its roles of appointing the board of the SABC. It's a contested terrain. It's a contested space. We are deconstructing. We're not going to be taken advantage of. We're not going to allow a family that has abused the generosity of the South African people. They are engaged in a whole lot of illegitimate things that are no consequences to them. So the point of departure that the editors must engage us with is that we are saying we don't think that we think they are masquerading in the same form that NESPAS used to masquerade for an illegitimate government. To that extent, we are not banning journalists, qua journalists. We are banning people who come in the name of the Gupta family, who come in the name of New Age, and by the way, we have the freedom of association. We can choose who we associate with. We're not saying they must not write about us. We're not saying that they must not cover, but they must not come to our events as a concrete step to disrupt the corrupt activities of the Gupta family.
Well, I don't know about, who are these journalists that Ms. Ndlozi is talking about, because the journalists I know work at the New Age. I think you were also the editor there. I mean, it's real journalists. It's people who we know. It's people that used to work on other titles. Those people who attended your press conference there today, they were not there, in my view, to collect intelligence for the Gupta family. They were there to report on a story. They reported on it in a way that obviously doesn't make you happy. And then there's channels to address that in appropriate forums, like the press ombudsman, like a High Court application, like a meeting with the editor. As SANEF, we are disappointed in this ban, because we really don't believe that the guys you are punishing here, the journalists who want to inform their readership, we really believe that they are working for a legitimate newspaper or TV station, which you might not think. You are punishing them. You are punishing and preventing them from doing their job, from reporting the news.
Adrian, the sacrosancy that you attribute to journalists is false. They are waged workers. It's like anybody when we say we are going to march against APSA and occupy the APSA branches, and they say, but what about the workers who work there? Aren't you endangering their lives, and so on and so forth? There are workers like that. So the sacrosancy that you occupy, they could write in their blogs, they can come to EFF press conferences, but not in the name of the Gupta. So what you are avoiding is to discuss with me, is to take a moral position as the editors forum about Gupta family and the ownership of media houses. Those are not media houses. In our deconstruction, in our analysis, that is a masquerade. They are a communications department of the Gupta family. By the way, the circulation, for instance, of the New Age, their numbers are not even audited by ABC. They are supported, 90% of their budget is supported through government adverts. There's a lot of corruption where politicians work with the Guptas, run a New Age publication to make money on the other side. We're taking a moral position, and we're saying to you, engage us on that. Don't tell us about the workers. Of course, in all types of engagement in the revolution, that's why we said we are conscious. They must not come, we are aware. We love them, they are our brothers. They'll be caught in the crossfire. It's not about them. That is a statement to say we are conscious of the fact that and we are saying to them it's not about them. It's about the wage, where they get the money to come to the EFF in the first place. There'll be decisions, for instance, and it's not because they wrote a certain bad story. We did not say that. It's not because they wrote badly about the EFF, about the commander. No, it's not about any story that they've ever written. It's about who owns them, who pays their wages. We are refusing to be part of a legitimacy of a communications house of a Gupta family that is bringing this country into disrepute every day, and there are no consequences to them. That's a moral obligation as the editors that you must take. Engage us on that.
You see, I think, Vuyo, that it's contradictory on the one hand to say that we love the journalists who work for the New Age, on the other hand that they are not welcome, and that in fact we can't guarantee their safety and their security and at attending EFF events. And that was quite unfortunate, and in there was a threat almost to say to a journalist, a reporter who works on their titles, listen, if you come here again, we can't promise your safety.
People have gone further to say you're inciting violence.
But Vuyo, when I am here, I'm your guest, okay? I'm your guest, and when I entered there's a board that says the rights of admission reserved. You are warning me that if I sleep here, you can't be held accountable. When we invite journalists, we make sure we treat them well. They are our guests. You understand? We're communicating to them that you are banned, not because you are journalists, but because you come in the name of the New Age. That's what they're doing. They come in the name of the New Age. They are representing the New Age. They're not representing their views. They are paid. They are told, go and cover an EFF event. They don't do it out of the goodness of their hearts. But you are here because you belong to an association. You're not sent by Media 24. You belong to an association of people who are protecting media freedom. In fact, the EFF's position today to go against ANN7 and the New Age is actually the only protection of media freedom against the people who masquerade as media people, yet running communications department for propaganda against illegitimate activities in the country.
I'm paid by the SABC, that's why I'm here, not out of the goodness in me.
Yeah, so the day the SABC becomes a company of the ANC and it runs ANC propaganda, you will not be shocked that we will take a position that we can't trust you. You're not media. You are a it's like Zizi Kodwa covering us. That's what those journalists are doing. They work for the ANC. They work for... He's not a journalist. He comes in the name of the ANC to cover the ANC. That's what we're dealing with here. But if they come as journalists...
The EFF, does the EFF really want to be a party that bans journalists from your press conference? I mean, really, I mean, what would you say if a party like the ANC does the same
you
to
can
another
come.
media house?
I'm saying what is banned
whatever reason
is not journalist. What is banned? What is banned is anybody that comes in the name of the new age and in the name of ANN7.
Yeah, what will you do
in our view, those two things are not media.
But what will you do to them if they come to your press conference?
We'll ask them to leave. They are not welcome. Just like, you know, in any house, if it's your house, you say, please, you're not welcome, please go because you represent this particular media house. You come in its name.
I really don't think that you can say you support media freedom
and that, by the way,
you will turn away journalists from your door just because they're doing
we're
the
not
job,
turning
really.
them as journalists. We're turning them as representatives who are coming in the name. They're doing work for the new age. Their decisions are going to be deciphered. They're going to go to the editorial decisions, all of which are manipulated in any way. These are not independent media houses that are engaged in the space of truth-seeking, of building an accountable society and all those things. These are communication departments of a corrupt family that is bringing our country into disrepute, abusing the generosity of the people of South Africa, and they must go.
But where are you going to stop? It's going to be the ANN7 and the New Age.
Oh, it's
today.
just the ANN7.
But what about... And tomorrow is going to be someone else. Someone else, you're going to be unhappy with something that I will have said or will have written.
No, there are people who say a lot of bad things about us. We don't ban them. There are people who have criticized. In fact, the EFF is the subject of the worst forms of criticism, both from liberal media, right-wing media. We engage with everyone. We're taking an approach. This is political. We're a political organization. We're opening a debate. We're saying, what are your moral obligations when you know the activities of the Gupta-owned TNA and ANN? What have you done? What have you ever said? If you are protecting media freedom, knowing the things that they are engaged in, what has the ANC ever done? What have you done? What has the government ever done? They landed in Waterkloof. Were there consequences? No. We're taking a position. That's why we are here tonight, engaging. And I'm saying to you, we're going to fight to the bitter end until the Guptas go back wherever they came from.
Eden, do you think you and I should engage with these guys, sit them down and say, this is where you think you're wrong?
I think so, and that's what we will do, because we really believe strongly that if you defend media freedom, if you say that there should be a diversity of media and a diversity of voices in this country, you should even entertain journalists paid by the Gupta family. You should even entertain journalists paid by NASPAF. You should entertain journalists paid by the SABC. Whenever you differ with them, put forward your voice, put your views there, why you differ from them. You're asking, what have we done? The media has reported a lot on the Gupta family and the beings. This is not about that. This is not about exposing the Gupta family's advertising from government. This is not about Waterkloof, which the media exposed. This is about banning journalists who legitimately applied for jobs, who's working for a certain media company, who's really trying to do their work from gatherings. And we will sit down with them, of course we will, and we will try and persuade the EFF that in the spirit of media freedom, in the spirit of what they as a party have come to stand for, this is not how we got
the starting point,
open to persuasion?
No, of course. The starting point is for us to agree, and he's not doing that. The starting point is our definition. The premise is we do not define ANN7 and the new age as media house. It's like government communications coming to cover our press conferences, and you think you are
but you
media.
Will not ban them. It will be okay.
But in this case, we've chosen a political campaign to antagonize the activities of a corrupt family, and these activities run down in ANN7 as well as in TNA. And again, I'm saying to you, separate the two. This is not a ban of individual. It's not even a ban of journalism. We're taking a moral position. They are not. They are starting to speak today about this issue. They are not. And this is the attitude of South Africans. This is what South Africans do. Reactive. And in the reactive, they choose to stay on the sky. The concrete reality of antagonism, so that we change our society into better, they don't engage in. So I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Is ANN7 and the New Age qualify? Are they legitimate media houses in the view of the South African Editors Forum? If so, then I know that we're in real trouble.
Look, I mean, it's been, I mean, how the media has worked. I mean, people come from, separate, different vantage points. There are people who are pro this or pro that, anti this and anti that. They come from, there are people you would classify as progressive media and conservative media, people who don't want to even see something like the EFF and what it stands for. But you do not, kick those people out simply because, they come from whatever vantage point. So why are you doing
it's
it
not
with
their
these
views.
ones?
Again, I have to emphasize, we're not banning ANN7 and TNA because of their views and their stories. We're banning them because they are Gupta media. No, ideas, I mean, we engage ideas all the time. We're critical all the time. We get beaten in parliament for speaking, for ideas. But we've taken a position here that there is this family that is taking advantage of our country. There are no consequences to them. This is one of the first actions that we have taken to antagonize the Gupta family in an unnegotiable demand that they must leave South Africa. They must disengage in our economy, in our politics, and leave our country. That is what we are saying.
The last word, Adrian?
I still think it's unfortunate. I think that I don't agree with Mbuyiseni that it's not media houses. I don't know what he means by legitimate. Maybe he also thinks Naspers is not a legitimate media house. I think it's a media house. It's a newspaper that gets distributed. All those other issues about the advertising, the circulation, sure, they are there. We write about them, we investigate it. But it's a newspaper where a lot of people I know work on. It's a TV station where people we know work on. And I think to punish those journalists to not be able to do their job is very wrong. It's not in the spirit of the Constitution. It's not in the spirit of media freedom.
If they come work for you, they are welcome in EFF events. It's because they come in the name of TNA and ANN7. So what's going to happen is that they're going to go back. You see what's going to happen is that they're going to go back and say EFF is an important political party that must be engaged and we can't cover their... They're going to go and there'll be a genuine dialogue now with their bosses.
It's never been
and the next thing we know, ANN7 and TNA are removed from Gupta ownership. And the Guptas leave the country.
It's never been a secret that the Gupta family owns those titles. I don't know why the EFF is now discovered. It's been there for many years. The launch of the title.
We've only been 2 years.
The launch was attended by the son of the president. It's always been.
For the past 2 years.
It's been quite transparent. It's not like the Citizen in the
For the past 2 years, we've never been to ANN7 studios. We've never taken special interviews. We've never done any interview since the existence of the EFF. That has been a policy. People who have gone there have been internally reprimanded. Talk to all the journalists. Talk to all the producers. They will tell you. EFF has always never come to us. So we are escalating an action that has always been there. And it has always been public. We've even denied, rejected invitations to the TNA business breakfast with Morning Live, on the basis that it's a Gupta-owned platform. It's a platform where the Guptas are involved. So it's not a first act. Since the EFF has been around, it has been antagonizing Gupta Communications Department, TNA and ANN7. And the debate has begun. Where is it going? The Guptas must leave South Africa with immediate effect.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's where we're going to leave it. It's all we had time for on tonight's episode of On the Record. Till next week, it's a good night for me.